What was your initial reaction to the knowledge that TA was going completely phone free?
Bad. I was not happy initially, just because a large part of having phones for me was communication with my parents or anyone that's outside the school. I like the idea of not having the pressure of like holding my phone all day or communicating with people outside the school. I don't know, it was kind of mixed. I no longer have to worry about what's going on my phone, and I kind of can just forget about that part of me while I'm at school.
The initial reaction was a little like, I didn't want it to happen. I wasn't a fan at the start.
So, David, what was your initial reaction to the knowledge that TA was going completely phone free?
I think my initial reaction, I was shocked. Like, I didn't think it would work. I thought there was going to be too much pushback. Like, I was kind of in the crew that was, like, against it. You know, I didn't really support at first.
When they first sent out an email, I was a bit worried because I had used my phone for a lot of academic settings. So that was like my first initial reaction to it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think phones were a really big part of school academically and also like in our free time. And I thought that it wasn't going to go well.
I would, in a word, I was like shocked. But behind that was like, this has the promise of being really good.
So what was your initial reaction to the knowledge that TA was going completely phone free?
I was shocked at first and didn't know the logistics of how it would work. But over time, people got used to it. I think it took most people a week or two to, feel secure without having a phone on them at all times. And overall, classroom, environment changed for the better.
At first, I thought it was just going to be something that I could find a way out of. Like I could buy a magnet off of Amazon or something. But now that I've been a part of it for a few months now, I think it's a part of my life now, and it's not that much. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be it's okay. I thought it definitely helped open up socially.
I think for me, it was just kind of shocking because it's a very big change, and everyone else said, our phones are very involved in our day-to-day school lives before this. So
I thought it was going to be interesting because I've noticed that a lot of the people that I hang out with a lot, some of my best friends, are just kind of absorbed in their phone, even during social things. Sometimes we'd be running around the school, but people would be playing a game on their phone, and that's fun. It's great, but for people who aren't playing the game on their phone or maybe don't want to be on their phone, it can be kind of excluding in a way. So I was excited.
I don't think I was very happy about it. I was a bit scared. Worried, I'd say. I wasn't sure how school was going to function the same. Communication with my parents, and also just going to be a pretty huge cultural shift with so many kids on their phones pretty constantly. If you're bored, you took out your phone, and I just didn't. I wasn't expecting it to happen. And I wasn't sure how it was going to work out.
Not being able to listen to music or your music was the biggest thing, but if your kids have MacBooks, or they can listen to Spotify on their Chromebooks, which can help. But kids are definitely talking to each other a lot more than just going on their phones.
I didn't like the idea that something was technically being taken from me, but it wasn't the end of the world.
If you didn't support it then, how do you feel about it now?
I think it's just been incredible. My grades have been up across the board. Every class I'm in, I feel like I focus more productive. I remember before, tests, I'd try to go quick so I could get it done and be on my phone. And obviously now you can't do that. So I find myself, I double check every answer on all my tests, and it's because of that, it's just my grades are going up, and I don't feel that need to try to finish fast to get on my phone or be on my phone every chance I get.
And gets me more in tune with what's going on in that room and not what's on social media or who's texting me or what's going on with that. I think there's a lot more connections with my classmates in particular. I see a lot more conversations in hallways and at lunch. Walking by people, I actually say hi instead of having my head down looking at a phone.
I think seeing the way it's affected some of my classmates, a few of my classmates' friends, I think are definitely a lot more social. I think a lot of kids last year would just pull out their phone the first thing at lunchtime and now I feel like I'm able to engage in more conversations.
Initially, I was very surprised. I didn't actually expect TA to take this step, but I think that for the past 3 years of high school, I've had a very unpleasant experience with phones in a school environment. I think especially at lunch when people aren't engaging with each other, but they're just using your cell phones, or during study hall or in class even. And it's really nice to have that whole atmosphere removed.
Previously, before this ban, people were using their phones pretty frequently, and I don't think people were more self-disciplined last year than they are this year. I think there's other ways that you can, achieve self-discipline without using your phone. In a sense, I feel like it's kind of taught me. It's like now I go home and I'm not instantly reaching for my phone because I haven't been programmed to do that during the school day. I'm resorting to I'll talk to my friends. I'll go with my buddies and we'll play pool and we'll play futsal.
I think that having your cell phone in school does not encourage you to be self-disciplined. I think that when people have in my experience as a student, seeing cell phones in schools, people would use them in class, unless they were reprimanded, in which case if they could get away with it, they'd still use their cell phone. They would play games or scroll Instagram at lunchtime, which is just quite frankly boring and offensive to me. And I don't think that any discipline was being learned whatsoever. I think that was just furthering the addiction to cell phones and taking away from social and class time.
No, I don't think so. I think especially in social things, places, it makes me not want it more. Hanging out with friends, I notice no one's on their phone at all, because that's kind of become the standard now in school. No one's on their phone when we hang out and we eat. My hangouts outside of school, no one's on their phone. Everyone's chatting and eating together and talking the whole time.
It's hard to discipline yourself, especially at our age, because we haven't really had anything else, and also because your phone is an addiction. It's proven. Going online and going on social media is an addiction that is most of the time out of our control.
I was talking about earlier, it's nice that people are not just sitting on their phones in the hallways or during lunch, or just, actually talk to each other, which is nice.
I'd say it allows for us to be more social, and it also allows for us to primarily focus on academics and not have that distraction.
I agree.
In general, people are more sociable.
I think that there's a lot more conversation in passing, seeing how people are doing, checking in with teachers you haven't had classes with in a few semesters. Friends that you don't see in classes look up more, whereas before they would have had their head down in their phones.
And at lunch, it's just, rather than, 2-3 people talking and everyone else on their phone, it's really this big group discussion and everyone's involved and everyone feels included. So I would say more people, people talk, people hang out, they're less distracted, and I think they're just generally happier.
Before there was no phones, people were just on their phones all the time and not talking. And I think people are just being more social throughout the halls and talking to one another.
I agree.
I think that I see a lot of people spending more time talking or just engaged in general, both inside and outside of class. I think I just see a lot more conversation, a lot more social behavior, and it just seems like a happier environment.
I've heard studies and heard research. It's good to take breaks from your work, but if you're taking a break to go look at a screen, that's it's making it worse.
I kind of like it.
I do too.
I do too.
Yes. I don't think that there's any reason not to employ this rule everywhere. I don't think that there's anything to be lost and everything to be gained from taking phones out of a school environment.
I do think it's something that all schools could benefit from.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I think it improves academics altogether and social life of high schoolers and takes away some things that were negatively impacting us.
I think that is a generally positive experience, and it would be good for everyone to see in their high schools.
I think it's been overwhelmingly a positive change. And I don't see any loss whatsoever in not having cell phones.
Most of the stuff you would do on your phone, like Kahoot or some little, whatever, anything that's online, you can do on your Chromebook.
Before, I might have used my phone to record something or take a picture or play Kahoot, but all of those can be done with my computer or like an iPad that the teacher provides. Yeah. I don't think we need them. I think our computers work fine. We can take pictures with them. The teachers have iPads, and I don't think they really contribute to becoming a digitally literate citizen. I don't think they're necessary in the classroom.
I just started writing things down on paper, and I find that, we use all these digital tools, but people did all this stuff without digital tools, and I think you should always just have like a blank piece of paper to scribble down stuff on, and then, if you want a digital system, you can always upload it later. But just going back to, our roots, people have been learning on paper for hundreds of years, so.
But you can talk to your teachers by emailing them or contacting them through Google Classroom.
It does make it a little hard for communication because my mom, sometimes I need to get stuff for soccer or track if I forget it at home, so I'll text her, but I can't do that. But I can always use the office, so there's not really many negative things.
I've had after-school schedule changes, and I just went in the office and asked to use the phone.
I think a lot of people have been using their computers to do that, like email, and that seems to be working fine. It's more of a distraction than a tool.
I think when we lock them up at the beginning of the day, that just ensures that nobody ever uses them. I think I like that idea more.
Do it. It's better for learning. People are more engaged, and people are going to learn a lot more, and they're also going to make better friends. It's ruining our generation. If people aren't engaging with other people, that's like a life skill. It's not just about like making good friends. It's about being able to communicate with people in a job or, in school. It's just important, and people need to learn how to do it. And without phones, people can focus on that.
Awesome. And there's in the corner it says joy and freedom. I didn't know that. That was just funny. Yeah. Point up to that. Perfect. Hi everyone. We made this video because we believe that we've had a great year being phone free here at Thetford Academy, and we truly believe that every student in Vermont deserves this opportunity. If you're a legislator, please consider passing this bill. Thank you for watching.